Hey guys, few designs here with our first ever video. Super excited. Um, well, guys, I hope you will enjoy it and leave me any comments below. Let me know what you think, what you would like changed, what you would not like changed. If you like it as is, that would be preferable. Um, One thing, if any of you are established enough and well practiced enough with 3D, please give me some pointers. I would like to receive some help. We would all like to grow as an artist community and just further our craft. And without any further ado, well, let's get into it. Okay guys, to start off, we activate the X symmetry, X mirror, so we only have to do half the work. We block out the chin or the mental. We then work our way to building out a little bit of a jawline so we can be able to drag out the cranial and have an idea of the fullness of the head, and the size will work on this later. We then block out the eyes, which sit just above the halfway point. If you have done your anatomy studies, I assume some of you already have, and if not, it is a good idea to do so. It will help you drastically with your work. The eyelids sit, your bottom eyelids sit at the base of the halfway marker of your head. We then just further fill out the cranial by the forehead for more volume and put the eyes together far better. At this point, we then start to block out the nose so we can have an idea of the volume that it will occupy as well. Also just for simple blocking out. Okay, then at this point we just go back into working on the cranial a little bit, fill it out a bit more, get some better volume, make it a bit more robust, if this is a good word to use. I notice with a lot of podcasts, and these podcasts, they like to mention how things are robust, make your portfolio more robust. Anyway, speaking of robust, we then go and make these beautiful robust lips that we start to block out at this part of the video. One of my favorite things to model, also my least favorite, very difficult to work on. I have no idea how to do it as yet, no matter how many times I've sculpted. But yeah, we work on it a bit with some slight detailing. I know professionals out there, some might not agree with me, but I'm one of those that likes to jump back and forth through them. At this point, I bring in the crease brush just to get in a little bit more feel of how I want the lips to fill out, and then the proportion they will have as regards to the face as a whole and where they would fit in. Yeah, so that's just my portion of that. I like working with a little bit of detailing and then jump to another portion of it just to keep it a little bit more interesting, more intricate. You don't get bored. At this point, we start to block out the nose, the beautiful lemony substance oozing devices on our faces. I don't know if you'll notice, but yes, I do have a little bit of super realism / manga anime feel to my art, to my style of sculpting. I don't think I even noticed it myself, but it's a bit of a theme that I seem to have going on. I like manga, I like anime, and I work with that in mind most of the time. Yeah. Okay, well, from then on, we just added a bit more definition to our bony landmarks, added a little more definition to our cheeky cheeks, and adding a little bit of a refinement to the chin. And yes, I did just say blah, blah. I did just say cheeky cheeks. It's quite sad. Do not laugh about that. Anyway, so we're just adding a little bit of those bony landmarks so we can fill out the face a bit more using the grab brushes to position it right. Those are defining factors for a human face if you are sculpting, just so you may note that. So always pay attention to things like that in terms of anatomy. It's very important and helps you. It'll capture the feel of your character. It's one of the easiest ways that even scientists or archaeologists define the body of something. And then at this point, we're just masking the lower jaw so we can lift the lip up a little bit, add a bit more volume. I just figured it needed a little bit of an extra kick, a little something to it. And then over here, what we're doing is just going back to the lip and just refining it a little bit. Not really quite sure how to execute it, so I'm just experimenting with a bit of the feel, experimenting with a few of the brushes. I'm not really a fan of what I would call the standard way of doing it, especially if you've got the gap and you're using a pinch brush. I feel it loses a little bit of resolution as well to create the gap in between. So I try and find ways around that. If anybody knows of a better way, please do leave comments underneath. Do give me advice. I do want to learn. I want to get better at this. And yeah, so I generally try to go for this so then I can remove any inconsistencies in the topology. I find the pinch brush makes the topology a little bit inconsistent, so I'm not a fan of that. And generally use the scrape brush, and that scrape brush I use to just get a little bit of stylization and smoothing in the lip as well. I find that to be very useful. It's one of my favorite tools actually. I've got a few favorite brushes to work with, which I think are more than enough to get a really good sculpt done. If anybody would like to get tips on that, let me know below. I can maybe do that in a future video. Excuse me there, guys, just needed to take a little bit of a break. Anyway, so as we keep going and flowing, we've got more or less a general feel of what we want our character to look like. A lot of the work from here on is generally just gonna be refining. So at this point, I think I'm gonna get to a point where we just mask out the face and try to get a nice extension out, so we can have the yoke built in the neck, and just extrude that out. I'm a fan of this method of doing it. I don't really like the whole thing of working out the base with its neck and then connecting it to the head. I find it very difficult to then sculpt in the detailing in terms of the neck and getting the correct volume into it. I just prefer this. I feel like it's a far more effective and efficient way to do it. But if anybody has tips and knows otherwise, please do give me that as well. Yeah. Okay, so at this point, I'm just doing a little bit of refining on the jaw, just where it joins up to the neck and where we're gonna start off our ear as well. This is just a little bit of preparation work for that, adding in a bit more volume, just to prepare the space to be able to add in our ear here. I'll use a method which I think maybe a lot of you are familiar with. Anyone who's seeing this for the first time, it works wonderfully. Just mask off the rest of the head as much as you can. It may seem a bit too much, but you might need to change angles in terms of how you push and pull as you begin to extrude your ear and make adjustments depending on what you've got. So I feel it is safer to mask quite a bit of the ear off. This technique works very well. I remember learning this a little bit in my beginning stages. I learned from Jan Sculpts. Very good sculptor and amazing character designer. I feel he's very much one that you'd want to check out. So yeah, stop by any streams, watch his tutorials. He's very good. He's well informed in the arts, well experienced. So at this point, we're just kind of getting to refining the ear. Just so you can get a bit more of stylization. As you can see how I'm using the scrape brush, just to try and get in a little bit of a better form. It's not that easy for me. I find the ear to be very difficult to sculpt and model, to be honest with you. It is no easy task, but after a little bit of work, you do get used to it. You get better off at it, and you just generally will improve as you go, as I hope to do so. And yeah, from here we're just going with the flow, refining as much as we can, and we'll spend quite a bit of time working on this. As I'm saying, it's not really that easy. I don't find it to be easy. Maybe there are some top-notch sculptors out there that can do it far quicker and far have a far more efficient way, feel free to show me. And with this as well, I had a little bit of an experimenting session. I have a bit of an issue in terms of the topology. Sometimes with Blender you'll maybe want to inflate or add in some clay to an area on the side, and out of nowhere it'll kind of drag out the topology from the other end. I'm not sure if it's a normal thing, but yeah, that's just something that happens once in a while I sculpt. So if anybody has pointers for that, please do share. And yeah, from here, just enjoy, just watch, see how we get through this whole process, and that's about it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you guys have any comments, please do leave them below. I would greatly appreciate that. I hope to see you guys in the next video, where we'll be working on sculpting the rest of this body for Agent Frost. Cheers. And if you want to see more content like this, click like.